We can do it. We can have it both ways.
Yeah.
We can win NCAAs this year. We can do our schedule. We can keep our schedule a little lighter so our guys are fresher.
But they'll be entering.
They'll
be doing freestyle and folk simultaneous. I feel like it'll be like an endless news cycle of who might be entered what and in what style.
Yeah.
At least through that Olympic team trials qualifying tournament in December.
Yes.
Like that's going to clear a lot of the landscape.
Yes.
So it'll be an interesting fall.
No, I can't wait. Okay, so that's Suriano. He is Olympic redshirting. Want to correct that. Iowa's schedule is out, and we kind of knew it was awesome, but now we have the whole thing, and it's really, really great. Steve and Kyle, thoughts on the Iowa schedule drop?
Well, pretty pissed. There's no Iowa City duels.
I knew this was gonna come up.
Right off the top, when I saw it, immediately became angered and didn't look at the rest of it. No, I'm just kidding.
Are you going to who's number one?
No, I don't think so.
Shoot. Well, I will. Well, you know what? It won't be a comfortable conversation, but
it
I will
needs to be a
confront-
collective thing. Like you need to pull the whole staff in.
Yeah.
And get Bader to speak his piece because I know Bader loved it.
Yeah.
I know Nomad loved it. I know Willie loved it.
Is it time for an Iowa City duels intervention?
It might be.
Or we're like, the cancellation of the Iowa City duels has affected me in the following ways.
Exactly.
There's a free spot in the schedule. They don't wrestle until the 17th.
Don't give me that hope.
Yeah, they could. Yeah.
They could throw in Co-College and perhaps your alma mater, Northwestern
College.
Would
Yeah.
they be down?
Yeah, they'll go. They'll go. I'm committing them right now.
Who would you have wrestled? So Bray wrestled at Northwestern College in Iowa. NAIA
You got 'em.
school.
You got
I
all
got
the
'em.
letters.
The order is immaterial.
Yeah, it really. Yeah, just NAI. So who would you have wrestled for Iowa during your era?
Just Metcalf.
Oh, really?
Would have been fine. Would have been fine.
That's
All
a
right.
thrown to the wolves scenario.
That could have been all
It
time.
would have been fine. Yeah.
Do you
Would have been
thi-
fine.
give us that match prediction.
Well, I think the biggest question is number of minutes it would have taken Brent Metcalf to put me on my back, which I would put it. I don't know. He kind of likes to cat and mouse a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd
He
give you
likes
an
to
escape
limber.
point.
Yeah.
I think he's got a like in Hoosiers, like no shooting until 5 passes. He's like no pens until 5 takedowns, I think.
Okay.
So let's see, 5 takedowns takes me. Yeah, I think early first period.
Early first period.
Yeah.
But if 5 takedowns mean like 4 escape points, right?
You
yeah.
would appear unrideable for the first minute of that
That's right.
match.
That's right. My escape stats would have been through the roof.
Yeah. That's what you want. Like,
Yeah.
The guy with the most escapes is usually the most impressive wrestler on the team.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most consistent scorer.
That's right.
Okay. Well, that's good. I would have loved to see that. I'm mad that there's no Iowa City duels, and just hoping we can bring them back. It'll be our mission. We will confront the Brands brothers, Morningstar, Burhow. Doesn't matter. Telford.
There's
You
no better
got
way
Telford.
to spend a Friday.
I got Telford and Burhow. Guys, you're out of line here. We need it back.
There's no better way to spend a Friday in November. I think instead of like regular Black Friday this year, it's just going to be morning on the day that would have been.
That's the
Iowa
real.
City duels.
That is the real Black Friday.
Mm-hmm.
The Friday that would have had the Iowa City duels. It comes on at 10 a.m. or something, really early.
Shed a tear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, so it starts bad, acknowledged, but then it gets really, really good. Chattanooga at Iowa State. I'm already like looking at flights for that one. I will be going. I cannot wait. It's gonna be so fun. Wisconsin, Princeton, Midlands, then Big Ten. Big Ten. They just only duel Big Ten teams except for Chattanooga, Princeton, and Iowa State. It appears.
And Oklahoma State.
I was going
Oh,
to say,
yeah.
scroll all the way down, and we got Biggin.
Yes, so they go, listen to this. Nebraska, Ohio State, Penn State. All kind of like back to back to back there. Then Michigan State, Michigan. Fun weekend there, except it's not. 6 days apart. Minnesota, Oklahoma State, and then Big Ten. So really tough, challenging schedule. And my question is, will we have Spencer Lee? Obviously, Spencer's going to make a run at 2020. How much will he be competing? Hopefully all of it, just because that'll make for more exciting wrestling. So
Yeah.
looking forward to Iowa season for sure.
Hey, you're on the schedule that we put out on www.flowwrestling.org,
I
which
am.
appreciate the page views. But on the Iowa schedule, there's something that didn't make it onto the Flow article. Pioneer Showdown. They have branded their match with, no pun intended, against Penn State and called it the Pioneer Showdown. But it looks like just a regular duel.
No, they did it last year. It's
Did
just
they?
like sponsored by Pioneer.
Pioneer
What is-
Seed.
Pioneer the speakers?
No.
No,
Pioneer
like-
Seed, man. Come on, get your Midwest
You know,
on.
Tom Brands, he
it's
always,
not the name of the rivalry. It's just like a sponsored duel.
All right. Well, thank you, Kyle. You've been a font of information regarding Pioneer.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Coach Brands, they always wear that hat. It's got the little green symbol on it.
Okay.
He's a big Pioneer seed guy.
Yeah, it's a seed company.
Is Iowa in the pocket a big seed?
Big seed.
The whole state, probably.
This is something that you need to learn, and I'm glad we have our Midwestern expert here to also fill in some color about Pioneer. And I
right.
see now they actually sponsor right there, the Pioneer logo on the top of the Iowa Hawkeye webpage. All right, that's the seed hour.
All right, the seeding hour. Wow, if we ever, you know what? Why can't we get a little bit of that Pioneer scratch going? We have all these seeding discussions. It is perfect. If honestly, Pioneer, you could get a lot more bang for your buck. Actually, you know what? Help the University of Iowa. That's fine. But I'm just thinking as far as efficiency. We talk about seeds all the time on this show, in articles.
It's right up there with the AT&T call to the bullpen with synergistic sponsorships.
Yes.
Like when you think of seeding, and then it's like the NCAA seeding breakdown brought to you by Pioneer Seeds.
It's perfect.
All right.
Everyone would, no matter where they live, they would just be purchasing seed.
Bray, can you call your seed contacts and get on the horn with those guys?
I'm gonna do you one better.
I love it.
It's harvest festival season just around the corner. Let's get a bracket shaped corn maze, and then for like a helicopter, and then we can have a seating show for brackets where we actually put the graphic of the
From the
wrestler
helicopter?
From the helicopter, the wrestler pops up. Who's the 1 seed? And then in the spot in the corn maze, boom, up pops the 1 seed.
Nice. And then the helicopter, just because it's fun to take chopper rides.
The holes.
The helicopter's how you can see it from the air.
Yes.
Yeah.
Drones we don't have to mess with those. Helicopters are the easier way to get that
That's
shot.
the way to do it.
Yeah. The issue there is that's a lot more work. We can just do the exact same content we would do, take the money, and just slap a little Pioneer thing on it. We're all about.
I don't know. We
efficiency.
should let Bray's idea
All right, you take that on.
percolate a little bit
Partner
before we
success
totally
can
strike
Partner
it down.
success will own it. That'll be
They
good.
can own that venture. All right. 149 pounds. Always interested in different sponsorship opportunities, but we'll go 149 tiers. Now, the best part about tiers is getting to yell at Nomad for the tiers he puts in and the egregious mistakes he makes, which he doesn't really make egregious mistakes, but we can make a bigger deal out of them.
And he's not here to defend himself, so it's the perfect time to totally slam him.
Oh, okay, we could. All right, you could do that. I think there is an added satisfaction with looking him in the eye and saying, "How dare you? How dare you put Pat Lugo in this tier?"
Yeah, that's
So,
the first one that jumps out.
149 is going to be very different than it has been in the last couple years, because it really is kind of dealer's choice here. Now maybe someone's going to emerge as the clear favorite. I think I'll just read the tiers. I'll just let you listen. How about that? Tier 1, Austin O'Connor, Sammy Sasso, Brayton Lee, Brock Mahler, Jarrett Dagan. I think it's Dagan. Okay. Interesting to have 2 freshmen in there. I think we all are collectively very high on Sammy and Brayton coming into this year. But tier 1 is, especially for Brayton, who I'm maybe not remembering his freshman year as well as I am Sammy's, but I'm not sure if he has the results to justify that at this point. Maybe he does.
Yeah, the freestyle results are there, obviously.
Of
but
course, but
he is Midlands. I think was basically where everybody hit each other, and Ja'Cory beat Sammy, and I think Sammy beat Brayton.
yeah. So he lost to Pentelio, he lost to Ja'Cory, he lost to Sasso,
Right, and Sasso
Chase
beat.
Straw, David Carr. I'll allow it. Josh Maruka, okay. Jordan Shearer, that one hurts.
Yeah. Also, considering Maruka, spoiler alert, is down in the 3rd tier.
Yeah, I think what happened here is, here's what Nomad did. I mean, he can only he can confirm. But he said Sammy Sasso's tier 1. But I cannot have him tier 1 knowing what he's done, what Brayton Lee has done to him in freestyle. Therefore, heretofore, he is tier 1. To which I say, no.
Yeah, pump the brakes a little bit, even though I think it's safe to say we're all looking forward to a long and healthy rivalry between Brayton Lee and Sammy Sasso. That's like,
we're here
please
for that.
wrestle 5 times a year. Like, who was it? O'Connor and Mitch Feinsilver wrestled like 7 times.
They
I
did.
think it was at least 5. It's 5 times. So go ahead and do that. You get the conference tournament, you get NCAAs, you get a dual meet, and you get another tournament maybe, front side, backside.
Vegas, they could hit at Vegas.
Yeah, and front side and backside.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he does have the Artelona win, but
No, he's legit. I mean, I think Lee's really good. I just think to put him tier 1.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
mean, because the ultimate freestyle, folk style difference is born out in their actual folk style result,
Yeah.
right? Sammy beat him in folk style, and then they wrestled in freestyle. But did Sammy beat him also? Did he not?
In freestyle, he
teched him.
He teched him at the open finals.
Okay.
But then Lee came back and beat him in 2 awesome matches in Raleigh at the team trials.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think a lot of discussion about the freshman. I really like Brock Mahler. I think, is he a guy? This is a true freshman, All-American, really nice season, beat some dudes. I love how diverse his skill set is. I think him versus O'Connor is a tougher matchup, but I really like him. But then Jared Deegan, tier 1. Let's cut to Stephen Kyle Brackey for a little Deegan hour, and I will say it differently every time. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that really throws me through a loop too. He is what we love these people.
Affectionately call.
Yeah, affectionately call. There you go. A junker. But we love junkers because you don't know what they're going to do at any given moment. And but he's very good at it. He's figured out how to win with it. I just don't know if someone like that can be in tier 1.
It is tough for me to close my eyes and envision him doing that 5 straight matches, right? Where you're just letting guys in, and he's got some wins. He beat Brock Mahler, who we love, right? If you stack up his wins, beat Lugo, beat Artelona, beat Justin Oliver. He's beaten some really solid wrestlers. Beat Mahler like twice, I think, actually.
Might be 2 and 2.
Yep.
Yeah, he split. He split with Mahler, split with Max Thompson.
I think it's tough. I think this could be a bigger tier, maybe. Maybe if this tier was expanded, I would get with it. And we can only go by the results, too. It's like you can say, yes, his style, and I think that's what it is for me. His style makes you think he can't do it 5 times. But you look at the guys he's beaten, and he's tough to not include.
Yeah, and I'm a big top tier proponent, at least for this weight class, because look at who you have in this top tier of 5 guys: sophomore, freshman, sophomore. There's a lot of unknowns, so I would rather err in letting as many people in as possible. Of course, that's the whole fun of this, is you got to draw the line somewhere. But when you have some guys coming off red shirts, some guy like Mahler is a true sophomore, right? Like, we didn't even know he was going to start. Grant Leith unfortunately got injured again, and it was kind of a question of, man, where does Brock even fit into that lineup? And then turns out he fits in pretty well at 149.
Yeah.
Well, I guess what concerns you about Dagan is the losses to Russell Rolfing and Davion Jeffries. And I guess that's what comes with being a junker, because in the same tournament scuffle, he lost to Rolfing and then pinned him.
Roll of the dice.
So,
He's proven our point.
yeah.
I think the other thing that's hard about him is, like, when you watch him and he makes those facial expressions like, oh, that was a big mistake. Or,
Oh, should have shot in on that leg.
He looks like he's kind of in pain all the time. I think that doesn't help.
Big body language guy, David
I'm
Gray.
a big facial expressions guy, and he always looks like, whoops, didn't mean to do that. But
It'll serve you well when you're profiling FBI style stuff and you need to get a read on people.
yeah, that's right.
That's definitely what's
Good
happening
point,
here.
cop.
Yeah, coming from a cop himself. So Sasso,
Hey, wait a minute.
Sasso lost to Teamer and Michael Jordan, his teammate. Now, who here remembers the Teamer Sasso match? Because that was a mess, and it was kind of
The wrong call.
Kind of the wrong call.
Yeah.
Sort of the wrong.
And
I can't
Teamer's-
remember the deal. I just remember my feelings around it. There was like a late reversal or a late too near fall call. I think Sammy kind of went to his back briefly to take him through, and then ended up giving up 2 near fall, 2 reversals, something like that. But definitely a winnable match for Sammy. I don't know. Part of me feels like you could leave all these guys but Mahler. You could have it like just AOC and Mahler on their own, and then throw Sasso, Lee, Dagan all in tier 2. Because I think O'Connor and Mahler are like the 2 most proven guys that are really consistent. There's no like, I think O'Connor has like one blemish that is sort of like really, really bad. Let me see if I can find it. He lost to someone really weird, as I recall, but maybe not. Maybe I'm misremembering.
I would argue Sammy should be in 1.
Really?
Yeah.
With a loss to Teamer?
Yeah.
Teamer's up a weight. Like even his redshirt year, he wrestled
I
the
mean,
second
you-
half up at 57, and then he beat an All-American, Pentalio. And
He beat
Lugo.
Pantaleo. He beat Lugo. He beat Brayton Lee. Looking at the Henry Polmeyer, Evan Cheek, like really
Yeah.
solid dudes. Josh Maruka, Josh Heil.
Okay, yeah, he's tier 1.
Like most guys in that redshirt year, they get a shot at like 1 or 2 legit like dudes, and he had a pretty consistent schedule against NCAA qualifier types, and he was on almost all the time.
Yeah, and you got to figure he's only gonna improve. No, the random O'Connor loss was his redshirt year against Gavin Londoff. Yes, that name doesn't get.
Shouts to Londoff.
Shout out to him, but that was not last year. So yes, further evidence that maybe AOC is on his own. Okay, so now tier 2, it's kind of salty. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Lugo, Bulu Allen, Max Thompson, Anthony Artelona, Jared Prince.
There's 3 All-Americans in there.
Yes, there are. And I really like Artelona's upside, especially he was a true freshman last year, and now another year seasoned. I thought he was in a lot of matches. So I don't really have any issues with there. I can't believe Jared Prince is still wrestling in college. I really thought he was like done.
He's on the list. I mean, assuming he qualifies, he'll be a 4-time qualifier, not yet All-American. It's one of those guys that like everybody should root for. Plus, he's just a solid guy. All the coaches, everybody talks about how tough and hard worker he is. So I'll be rooting for him, even though I'm totally unbiased, objective journalist over here.
Yeah, I am biased actually.
His ability to score in the top position too. I mean, he hasn't been able to put it all together at the NCAA's, but
He's kind of a junker too. He's got some.
he does.
He's got a little bit of.
Yeah, you hit the go button and then it's just like you get 7 minutes.
He's really good. He did he not beat Bryce Meredith one time or like give him a really tough match?
Who?
Jared Prince. I might be
I don't
misremembering.
think he
I don't think he
beat
did.
I
him.
thought he did. He did something.
Hang on.
Maybe he did. Actually, maybe he did. Like
It was at the scuffle.
Yeah.
I don't know if he did though.
He beat Kaladzik at EIWA's last year.
Look down. Just Command F Meredith.
Are you
For
looking
me.
for Meredith?
16-10.
Who won?
Prince.
Prince.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a backside match, right?
Yeah, it had to have been.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, so yeah, but that was like 3 years ago or something.
Yeah, lifetime ago.
So okay, so yeah, that's Jared Prince.
2016.
Wow. All right, then tier 3, Matt Finley. If it comes down to vascularity or being jacked, he will win the Hodge. Brock Zackerl, Cole Martin, Josh Heil, Raquir Vandermeer, Josh Maruka, who's a really salty, and Jared Verclear in tier 3. That's assuming and not even assuming. We know Bergie's going up. For the love of the Lord, let this man eat. Tier 4, Christian Olivas, Russell Rolfing, also somehow not graduated. Henry, Hank Polmeyer, Mike D'Angelo, and Brent Moore. Wasn't D'Angelo a 57 once upon a...
I feel like D'Angelo's been at this a lot. He took a gap year. He took a deferred year of eligibility last year. And he'll definitely get some really good wins, but then not put it all together in the postseason.
I feel like he could be up a rung or so. I thought he beat some...
You know who I like being up a rung is the man Brock Sockerl. He injuries and a couple unfortunate losses, but the guy has like 5 losses in 2 years or something.
I know. I haven't seen Clarion's schedule yet, but I hope he. Remember, he had an amazing record.
He has like 34-0.
Yeah, but he hadn't wrestled anyone.
Yeah.
He needs to go. I hope he can go to like a couple more elite tournaments.
He was
and,
at
actually
CKLV last year. I was on the mat where he got hurt. I forget. He was wrestling somebody good, and it was just one of those like, oh, this was the year he's going to have his breakout year, and gets cut short. So, I don't know. I'm a big Sakura fan, but we'll see. You're right. He does have to step up and wrestle that tougher competition to
He beat Pagdaleo last year, who was an All-American. I'm a big Christian Pagdaleo guy.
Who are you talking about?
D'Angelo.
Yeah, he also beat Larry Early.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to mention.
I think he's sleeping on him, which is weird because Nomad, big Princeton guy. Tier 4. No, I think he's squarely tier 3. Mike D'Angelo. Especially the Downey, Nate Jackson, Joe Dubuque effect. Mm-hmm. That can only help.
They're going to have huge biceps, be curling all the time.
I'm not going to read tier 5. There I go.
All out on those guys.
Yeah. All right.
Now we definitely can't read their names.
No, you really can't. You know who you are, tier 5. You would massacre me. That's who you are. Okay. Overall thoughts on 149.
It's going to be wild. I mean, AOC probably established himself, as the guy to beat. But that's with all these freshmen and guys coming off redshirt nipping at his heels. And then you got guys in this tier 2 with the 3 All-Americans. It's like you can't count these guys out. You can't sleep on them. I'm sure they're going to say we slept on them.
Is there anyone missing? Any potential surprise 49s that we did? Like maybe they redshirted but they didn't wrestle or anything like that? Any true freshmen that we think would come in and make a splash right away? I couldn't think of any.
Northern Colorado.
Alirez. Yeah.
Alirez could you could see him beating probably anybody in tier 1.
He's beaten many elite guys throughout his career, although his ledger is almost entirely freestyle.
Yeah. Which
is fine. Those count, but it's just a different game here.
Yeah, it's tough to put him in the tiers without the 0 college folk style matches, relevant ones.
Yep.
But just the eyeball test and just from seeing him wrestle freestyle against incredibly high competition, I think that's someone that you should have on your radar if you're paying attention to 149 this year.
What weight is Yaya Thomas going? We think he's going to be at 41 again?
That's a good question.
Because I don't remember talking about him in 41 tiers necessarily. He just won, had a nice showing he made the junior world team, which had Alirez in it, right?
Mm-hmm. That was a stacked. I mean, these middleweights are always. That's why it's weird when there are not like established guys in a weight class like this is in the middleweights or in the lighter middleweights. This is where everybody kind of all the 125, 133 guys are graduating up into this. Everybody's maturing into it. So usually there's some more experience at the top. 149. So that's a good call. Yaya hasn't wrestled anything but 141.
He did kind of both.
Yeah.
So we'll see. You compared this morning to 2015.
Yeah.
Which allow me to read those quarterfinal matchups for the 2015 NCAA Wrestling Championships.
Enhance.
They were as follows. Allow me to clear my throat and scroll momentarily.
And load.
Bad radio.
This is great.
This is pretty good.
This is good. I like that.
I definitely didn't have
149 was just like
there's only 4 of us here.
It was a year where I think like
no Zane
before that year, if you would have said like almost any name other than Hunter Stieber, who ended up injured and didn't get to compete, if you would have said almost any name would have been the NCAA champ, like a lot of people would have argued with you. Like it was hard to see any one of those guys.
Dude, Hunter was so the best.
Yeah,
he should have won. I mean, clearly was not healthy enough to win, but I feel fully confident a healthy Hunter Stieber wins this weight. Kind of little issue. Of note, there were some hammers in here that didn't. Josh Kindig was in here. He was also very hurt, as I recall.
Yep.
That's why he earned like not a seed or a bad seed. Hunter Stieber in there, but here's the quarters: Drake Houdschelt, Lenny Richardson from ODU, Chris Villalonga, C.J. Cobb. That was a quarterfinal. Dave Habit, Tywan Claxton.
Beast.
Shout out Greenlee. Sal Mastriani, Jason Surtis. So there's like, in each pairing, there's like a he made the quarters kind of guy.
Yep.
In every quarter, right?
Yeah.
Linney, Cobb, Claxton, Mastriani, right?
I'll have you know, Tywan Claxton beat Drake Howdeshelt.
Yes, he did.
Did you witness it live?
I did.
Nice.
At Missouri, on the stage.
That was also where
Phil Wellington beat Jaden Cox.
Oh, man.
you guys really peaked your team for that duel.
That duel was awesome. It was the
Bobcats.
first one they did in that auditorium, and we were up on the stage. And
This was at Missouri, right?
yeah, and they were really good. And we went out there and wrestled really well, and I think lost 6-4 on match split, but we're in a lot of those matches with top-ranked guys, so it was a lot of fun.
That was one of 2 wins that Wellington had over Cox, right?
Yeah, the other one
The
was
second one was a really
if they
bold
wrestled
strategy.
at Missouri, Jaden lost because the second DQ was when they took out the halogen bulbs.
Yeah, they went crashing right
When
into
Jaden decided to smash him on his head.
Yeah.
fun rivalry.
Yeah.
You'd love to see it at this level. Okay. That's that. Now let's go. Is any further
Thoughts on 149?
Thoughts on 149.
It's gonna be fun. That's like
it's
every
gonna be
weight.
insane.
But this one is like the most. You can have confidence in these guys to like All-American, but if you want to pick like your final 8, like preseason, it's gonna be.
I kind of want to
tattered.
pick Sasso to win right now. Just put my flag in the ground. But my man gets tired.
Mm-hmm.
He gets tired. These matches are 7 minutes long.
Yeah, and
Well, it's weird. In the folkstyle season, we never saw that.
No.
You know, when he was at Midlands and beating Pat Lugo in overtime and riding out Pantaleo to beat him, you didn't see that fatigue. And then in a shorter freestyle match, he gets tired.
He does.
I don't know.
yeah, no mat wrestling. And
It's weird.
Maybe
This
he
is
needs to
such
get on top.
This is such a like that's where you can't see a guy like Dagan going on a run and you can't see him beating Sasso, but we just watched the match this morning where he's up 6-1 on Lugo and then
Or down 6-1.
or sorry, he's down 6-1 on Lugo and then he comes back and scores all these weird points. So
And honestly, we're gonna have to pull that clip because I think Nomad watched this match and said, "Switch. I'm gonna get out in front of the switch movement."
Switch.
Because
they're gonna be
Lugo-
big this season.
Lugo hits a switch for 2, right into the Jared Dagan re-switch for another 2.
yeah.
classic.
It was
trap.
beautiful.
And so what we need is a behind the dirt of those switches, the switch re-switch drill, because part of Nomad's thing that makes his switch so great is he knows how to not get re-switched.
Yeah.
Oh right,
honestly,
he made that very explicit.
If Nomad worked with Lugo on his switch, perhaps he'd have beaten Jared Dagan.
Is Nomad available for private lessons?
We need to get Nomad
I
either
have a
doing
feeling he's
like
available.
a Mike Mouse style behind the dirt where he like shows where Lugo went wrong, or he needs to get on the telestrator.
Yeah.
One of those 2 things needs to happen.
I'm not sure which would be funnier.
Behind the switch, and it's just Nomad. Every week, it's another switch, another guy getting re-switched. He finds that footage, and he's like, all right, I got to do this again, and just goes through the steps.
I feel like the re-switch drill was like it was such an integral part of like wrestling like in our generation. I hope people aren't drilling that too much now.
We
Maybe a
crushed the
little.
re-switches, and then
Every once in a
eventually, like, it devolves into you're just, like, spinning around each
Yes,
other. You're
until
doing,
somebody's
like,
face like
You're just scooting.
Yeah.
Just scooting like this with your palm up.
Yeah.
All right. So that's enough. Switch season is coming. We're excited for it. As I mentioned on Twitter, you guys asked great questions for Tuesday, but between entire world's previews and an international crisis, we had no time for questions, which happens sometimes. So we've got a lot to get into. So buckle up because these are really, 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 really good. We'll start with the Tuesday questions, just so you guys don't feel left out. Actually, no, I want to start with this one. What is the best version of Jordan Burroughs so far at the World Championships / Olympics? We kind of alluded to this.
Who asked that question?
My name is Jeff.
There you go.
For FRL.
My name's Jeff.
it's for Kazakhstan. Look, the Borat jokes are going to, like,
It's
be
not.
unavoidable.
It's not. It's from 22 Jump Street.
What?
My name's Jeff.
All right, well, I missed that one. But either way, I'm pumped for more Borat jokes coming back. I don't care if they're stale. It's Kazakhstan.
So, because Nomad said he thought 2015 was the best version. I was like, I don't think so, but maybe he was right. But anyways, I think there's a couple different answers. I mean, the 2011 run, while he wasn't as polished, I don't know, man. That guy could score whenever he needed to. He was at like definitely, I feel like 11 to 13 was like the pinnacle of his athletic power. You just kind of throw 14 out because he didn't get the chance to represent himself from a healthy perspective. He won his first 69 matches, right?
Oh yeah.
Nice
streak.
That's a good run.
That's a good run.
About as nice as it gets.
Yeah. It's basically anyways. We'll just let that joke die right there. It can die right there. But really, I think that window was actually the best Burroughs in terms of separation. He was undisputably the best wrestler in the world at that point in time.
Yeah.
He beat the guys he beat, Sargouche
and
Goodarzi.
Yeah.
Those are some of the best guys he ever beat. And he beat Sargouche twice.
Yeah, I remember watching that kind of unfold as you're following, and like the first, you hear about 2011, and you're all pumped, like, oh, this could be a real dude. He's young, and he just beat, Sargouche, who's basically taking over for Satiev, who's GOAT. And then, so you go, all right, what do we got here? And then he kept winning, and I remember reading the previews that Gary Abbott would do, and it's like, he would even type, normally they're very cut and dry and just stating the facts, but Gary would type but Burroughs isn't losing any matches in this tournament or something like that.
Yeah.
And you just know, all right, everybody, they see it. They saw it early. All the guys in the OPTC, all the teammates and everything was like, all right, we got a phenom. We got a guy that's changing the course of the entire team. So it's tough to put that run. It's tough to underappreciate or underestimate how important that run was and how good he was, just ripping through what is 100% always one of the toughest weight classes. Even if you're not as familiar with the names. And that was when there was a huge gap. It was 65, 74, 84. So there's nowhere to go. Nobody is bumping up just because they want to avoid anybody or sucking down. It is the most people in the world that wrestle are around that weight, and there's no other weight classes to kind of bump up or down to. And he buzzsaw through it, everybody. So
I think best version, I don't know how do you guys differentiate from 11 to 13 though? Part of me wants to say 13 because he had to beat Dake to make the team, right? So you beat an absolute monster who's now a world champion, and then the broken ankle thing. But that was the weakest field he ever faced.
Post Olympics is
Russia sent I don't know someone who lost to India.
I think.
Yeah, he was not
or Sanakova.
not on the level. Not on the level. And then he had the Iranian who was not the post Goodarzi Iranian, who I don't remember seeing again. Definitely not at 74.
Akbari, he was super tall, I think,
Yes.
and he Burroughs retired 3 Iranians in a row. It was Goodarzi, and then Goodarzi got hurt, and then Akbari, and then you never saw him again. And then I'm forgetting what happened next, but yeah, it's although this weight it had Hassanov, who is still at it and winning medals,
and
Shabanov, who's up at 86 and looks good.
He does.
He's a short 86, but he's quick and powerful.
He's really good. I will say 2013. Man, he had an exchange in 2013 with Shabanov that is one of the greatest wrestling exchanges. It may be the greatest wrestling exchange I've ever seen, right? And I just think that was peak of his savvy, his grit, which I think is what makes him one of the best to ever do it in the world. So I will say 2013 is the best version, broken ankle and all.
Yeah, it's hard to argue when you look at some of the scores. I mean, he went through 9-2, 7-0 against Yadov.
Those are techs, by the way.
Yeah,
7-point techs.
Tech Yadov, who was actually good, got popped for steroids. Tech Hassanov, who's obviously good. Cautioned Shabanov out, but was on his way to teching him.
DQ'd.
And then 4-0 over Akbari, who beat everybody in his field. So Burroughs, sometimes he'll get taken down. He'll have tough matches against guys. I remember in 2011, it was who's the Colombian, Roberti. He dropped a period to him when it was the best 2 out of 3 2-minute periods. But there was 2013 was awesome because there was no you weren't so nervous watching him.
Yeah.
And then you hear about the broken ankle and it's like, all right, this is a dude right
Next level.
The thing about Burroughs, every single year it was something. 11, 12, it was beating this massive field, kind of doing it for the first time world champ, first time Olympic champ, then the broken ankle, Then 15's in the USA, and he's like adding that lace and teching everybody. I mean, I'm not adding; he had it the whole time. But then 17, it's like the comeback year, and we needed him to come back, so Team USA wins the title.
Yeah, that was pretty huge. I mean, you could take any one of his years and be like, there's something amazing about that.
Yeah.
I do like the current version of Burroughs. Like, personally, I like watching Burroughs right now because he's picked up all those, like, veteran tricks of the trade that, like, you see. Because normally American wrestlers don't wrestle into their 30s. Mm-hmm. Like, this is, like, a new thing where guys are getting this longevity, whereas the Russians are wrestling, and, the Eastern Europeans, it's not uncommon to see late 20s, early 30s guys out there with all these experienced moves. Like, that Aldatov guy wrestled, like, into his, like, late 30s. And they have those like sneaky moves and the way to play the edge, and he's picking up stuff like that is not a explosive blast double, but it's still kind of cool the more you see it evolve. So personally, I kind of enjoy watching him now as much as ever. But again, best version, coolest year, coolest like world run. That's a different one.
Yeah. So I'll say 2013. Let's go to Steve and Kyle.
Well, I was going to say 2013. So
really,
yeah, just what he did on that angle and that exchange that you talk about. I think we just posted it yesterday.
Oh,
is just insane. So I was going to lean 2013. I thought you were going to go 2011.
You did?
Yeah.
Dude, it's still the craziest thing, but he was still making some what you could just describe as just kind of rookie mistakes, right? Just like freestyle. He literally hadn't wrestled freestyle since the junior world team when he was like a 66, a long time before then. For him to come out and have that debut, I mean, that was maybe his most difficult run. Although his Olympic run was similar because he had to go through Burroughs, or he had to go through Godarzi and Sargouche both years.
Yeah, Russian and Iran both times. I think he even mentioned one time it was like 7 or 8 Worlds and Olympics in a row where he had Russia on the same side of the bracket.
Yeah.
He can't catch a break to get him in the finals. I think Sabalov in 17 was the first time he saw a Russian in the finals.
Mm-hmm. And he had Godoyev in 16. Yeah, and I feel like things have gotten a little bit closer from like even 2015. Godoyev was nip and tuck. Now Godoyev's amazing, and it was really hard for Burroughs to beat Sargouche. So I mean, we kind of debated those two back and forth a little bit, and Sidakov, right? Mm-hmm. The Russians he's had to beat. So I'll say, but I feel very confident it's in the 11 to 13 range. Was like peak Jordan Burroughs powers.
Beating Sargouche at his peak is, both of those matches at the Worlds and Olympics, Sargouche is completely gutted. Like, you can tell, like, he won 2 championships in a row. He's taken over for Satiev. Like, at that point, Russians just weren't losing to anybody. No. I mean, they were winning like 6 out of 7 golds. And then here comes this American that you never heard of, has no credentials, and he beats you once. All right, that's a fluke. All right, we'll get him at the Olympics. Mm-hmm. Beats him again with the same game plan, basically. And it's like, there goes your legacy. You were going to be one of the greatest Russians. You were going to be whatever. Like, he's still going to have be just fine. But that was just daggers.
And how close that 2011 match was to him losing.
Yeah.
Sargouche is in. So Sargouche, I think, won the first period. Mm-hmm. And then, remember, it's his best 2 out of 3 periods. Amazing rule set. So as time is running out, Sargouche gets to the leg, and I just remember it vividly. Burroughs is just like crawling towards the out of bounds, or just like crawling away, and like he's basically 1 second away from, he would have given up a step, or he would have given up the takedown, but time expired just in time for him to win that period, and then he breaks him in the 3rd period.
Yeah, and I mean a lot of the conversation before that was Sargouche like pound for pound. I mean, people
running
forget.
through a 74 the way Sargouche did is like. Yeah, and that was the knock was, well, Burroughs hasn't really established himself yet. He hasn't beaten all these guys. Like, Sargouche, put him up there with everybody else. You win multiple world championships like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could talk Burroughs all day.
Yeah, me too. He's the best, man. Okay, let's find some more questions here. Have I bought a new car yet, or am I still driving the Death Trap? Well, if you're calling the minivan a death trap, at least I am driving it.
I think I saw it in the parking lot this morning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Got that good parking spot. Yeah, I'm still driving it. It's so far so good.
Hold on to it. It's
I don't know. Listen.
So I hit up the Kelly Blue Book. Like, how much is this bad boy worth if I were to trade it in?
$1,600.
Oh no. The low end was I want to say $174.
Ooh.
High end was like $760. But there's no way we would get.
No, those Kelley Blue Book. Last time I traded in a car, it was like a 12-year-old Ford Focus.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have a ton of miles on it, but I'm like, all right, it's fine. I didn't get any like wrecks or anything. And the Kelley Blue Book said, I don't know, a couple grand, or maybe it wasn't 12 years old. It was like 9-year-old. Anyway, take it in, and the dealer's like, we won't give you anything, but we will like take it away, take it off your hands
without charging you.
Yeah, we won't charge you to dispose of this car, which we will strip for parts or sell to somebody that just take it. Like, we aren't making any money on it. It still costs us to get rid of your $2,000 Kelley Blue Book cars.
My thing about this is like if that van is actually worth in between $150 and $700, I would love to just buy like 4 of them. And then I just have this fleet of vans, and as things come up, I can get rid of one or get it fixed or not get it fixed.
Just have a couple
just
sitting in the garage.
I need a bullpen.
Those vans can turn into death traps, so you better watch out. We had a death trap situation where I had a tire fall off of a minivan. And
that doesn't sound good.
Was it a Caravan?
No, it was a Kia. I don't know. Yeah, Kia Sedona or whatever it's called.
Kia Soul.
The tire fell off at 80 miles an hour. We almost died, the whole family. But
that's not. Did you see it roll like ahead of you? Like,
how does a tire fall? What did you just go?
No. So we got the tires rotated, and whoever put the tires back on didn't tighten the lug nuts all the way.
Oh, that's not a Kia problem. Don't put that on Kia. Put that on the guy that was negligent in his.
No, but it is a Kia problem because as the tire was wobbling a little bit, the studs snapped off. And so the tire like folded underneath. We're going like 80 miles an hour on the interstate. We ended up like sparks flying.
So who do you hold responsible?
Probably myself, as it had been a death trap for you for a
That's
couple
good.
years.
Way to not get a cease and desist from either the guy, the mechanic, or Kia.
No,
themselves.
so I mean the mechanic definitely was involved, but you got to be careful with those death traps.
Okay. All right. Well.
Not to scare you or anything, but the whole Bray family almost went up in flames on the highway because they were driving a minivan that they should have replaced.
Well, I would never reach speeds of 80 miles per hour. I'm a very...
That's the speed limit in Wyoming.
I know.
That's the speed limit.
I thought it was just prudent.
Yeah, well.
You drive whatever you think is right.
No.
Okay, what is the Olympic redshirt status of Mark Hall? Don't think he's taking one. I think we're going to see... Let me do this real quick. Here's my guess at the Penn State lineup. Brody Teske... Fingers crossed he can make 25. RBY, Nick Lee, Jared Verclaren, Brady Berge, Vincenzo Joseph, Mark Hall, Shakur Rashid, Kyle Connell, and Anthony Cassar. That's my guess. That's what I'm supposed to
do. Do we know if Connell has enrolled in campus? I know it's like he obviously.
Yes.
That's the plan. Oh, he did?
He has.
So he's in Penn State. All right, so that's
what I've
well.
been told.
Okay.
There you go.
But I don't know if he's gotten the year he needs to get from the NCAA.
Ooh, yeah, good point. There's another wrinkle to that.
I'm assuming he probably got it. They're just not going to tell anybody.
Well, their backup situation would be what? Beard? So that's not too bad.
No, this will be technically Beard's true freshman year, so he could theoretically redshirt, and it all works out.
Sure.
With good synergy. Although if it doesn't work out with Connell, I could see Penn State using him if they feel he's ready, just because they can definitely win this year.
Yeah,
but that is a salty lineup. Maybe they should be the favorites. I don't know. Iowa does have 7 All-Americans.
Yeah,
which is
they
insane.
Put that graphic out.
I don't know why. That was like very like just seeing them all there. Like all these guys are All-Americans.
Got your Hawkeye juices flowing.
Yes, it did, and then some. Okay. A Gable question. What's the status of Gable and Minnesota issues? I don't think. I mean, he's enrolled, according to Stephen Kyle. He did a little.
Yeah, you can find him on the directory. He's enrolled fall 2019.
Look at that Big J sleuthing.
Yeah.
Kyle getting all the enrollment.
Listen.
Matriculation.
There's nothing getting by this guy.
That's good.
Are there any concrete? This is from FRL's In Studio Fly, which I think might be dead, thankfully.
Lifespan not great for them.
Not great. Yeah. Not long term. Any concrete requirements for your tiers, or do you kind of go on feeling?
It's a real nomad question there.
This is very this is a question best. You know what? We'll save this one for Nomad. Nomad would have some zany answer for this. Someone also asked if we preferred creamy or crunchy peanut butter. I've got to have Nomad's take on that. I feel like he'd be like, I don't eat peanut butter or something.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
that.
like peanut butter is poison or something.
He's like, yeah. I don't know. Who knows?
Also, creamy for me.
You're a cream guy.
Yeah.
I like creamy. I was raised on creamy peanut butter, but I had a little crunchy phase. Kind of a bad boy time.
Wow.
And
Things
yeah.
went south for me a little bit. I had to
Yeah, dude.
get my life
I
in
was-
order.
I
I was
was-
doing crunch left and right. Couldn't stop me from slathering it on all my bread
I
products.
was putting it on that. Yeah, it was pretty wild. Throw it on banana, throw it on bread. Didn't matter.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I like, creamy. I mean, I don't know. As a picky eater as a child, it was like creamy all the way.
Yeah.
But then, like, now I've kind of just been like, if it's food, I'm going to eat it. So
Yes.
I'll try some crunchy. It doesn't have to be like the grape jelly that's just sugar just
hate
spread
grape
on it.
jelly.
So that was the PBJ, like the only kind I would allow on white bread. And now it's like, all right, time to, grow up a little bit. You mature, and then you can have different kinds of jelly, peanut butter, and bread.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even crust every now and then on the bread. Sometimes I don't even cut it off of my sandwiches.
It's an enlightened perspective.
Oh, yeah. Try to be a little bit more adult.
Has there ever been a team with a weight as consistently good as Iowa's last few years at 125? Gopher heavyweight, Kale's upper weights. Penn State 184. I guess Shakur kind of throws it off a little bit last year, but he is an All-American. But I feel like there's a weight. Maybe it's 74 for Penn State, where they've been really, really good.
65. I mean, you got Taylor and then Vincenzo.
Yeah.
So who is 65 after? They had a Gino
Gino
Morelli
Morelli
type
situation.
of situation. I feel like there's got to be one. There's one of those weights in there where they just had a hammer. You had Ruth, Brown, Quentin right before.
Maybe it's 74.
Might be 74.
And especially with the variety of guys like that kept coming in, and it's like there's no stopping.
Who was
like,
74 before Mark Hall? Was that Matt Brown?
Was that Matt Brown? Right.
No.
He won it in 15, right?
He won in 15, then graduated. So who was there? 2016. That would have been. I don't know. We need to look up all the old Penn State lineups, but some range in there. But yeah, it's tough to compete with 25 Iowa with Spencer, before him, Gilman, Clark, McDonough, Charlie Falk.
Oh, it was Bo. All right, check this out. So
Okay.
from
geez.
09, Quentin Wright, and then I don't know if they qualified in 2010. Then you have Ed Ruth, Matt Brown, Bo Nickel, Mark Hall.
So they've had a national champion at 174. Now I'm not saying they won it every year,
But a guy who was a
but a
champion.
guy that was a national champion in what is that, 7, 8
From
years?
2011, skip 2008, and then Quentin Wright at 2009. So that's pretty consistent. That's 11 years.
That's salty.
Pretty good.
174.
Yeah, no one finished worse than 5th.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Well, so we'll say 74. Okay. There's a Nicky push-ups question, but I'm not going to ask that one. Assuming Willie Nomad are not going to be on Thursday FRL, can we get a Christian versus Kyle best of 3 folks? Guys, no, it's a horrible idea. Kyle would kill me. It's been established. Would you rather have to fight? Here's a good fighting question. Bracky and Colby Paxton or 5 Nomads?
Who?
I think Nomad does not get enough credit.
He's scrappy.
Nomad does not get enough credit for his scrap.
Also, Nomad does not have any compunction with pulling out a knife.
That's
Is that
true.
right?
Nomad often on
yeah.
road trips menaces me with knives.
Wow.
Knives.
Wow.
He's a real
This
knife
guy plays catch with scissors with people and
That's true.
routinely.
And it's like, what? Why don't you want to play a little game of catch the scissors with me?
Scissor catch.
Oh, it's a little afternoon. Loosen up, and he's like chugging not chugging. He's refreshing himself with a cold beverage.
Yeah.
And decides to go play catch the scissors.
Seems like probably the only time someone decides to play catch the scissors.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, all the times. The counterpoint is that Colby Paxton is a hoss.
Colby's a hoss, and Bracky can certainly hold his own. But I'm just saying 5.
Yeah.
I've got 5 of them.
So yeah, it's,
It's not head up.
Nomad's strength is often underestimated. When multiplied by 5.
Okay,
Yeah.
very simply.
One on each limb.
Very simply. 3 Nomads on Colby, 2 Nomads on Bracky.
Yeah.
That's over. Bracky, you can't beat 2 nomads up.
I don't know.
I think I can get 2 nomads.
2?
You cannot beat up 2 nomads.
I think I could, man.
Wrong.
If
I
he-
like the idea of like
if he
Colby.
tight waist the one. I mean, all you gotta do is tight waist him.
I like the idea of Colby just wading through a sea of nomads, like in an action movie. You know, like the epic battle comes and there's Colby like towering over all of them, just like swinging his arms, and nomads are flying all over strewn about the battlefield.
All right, we need to. There's a football question here, sort of. Ayala, Facundo, and Mendez were at the Michigan Army football game this weekend as part of the recruiting trip. Hypothetically, if Army would have won, do you think that has an effect on their decision? Leave a sour taste, or does it not matter?
I mean, if I'm those kids, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, Army won 10 games last year and took Oklahoma to overtime, who ended up making the college football playoff. So you need to realize how good Army is, 1.
Football guy.
And then 2, I mean, that even though it was such a close game, that place it was obviously sold out like every Michigan home game is, and it looked awesome and electric, and I'm sure that environment was pretty awesome. But you're also not going there for the football games.
Yep.
While that's just an added plus, I think it's more about what they saw on the wrestling side and their relationship with the coaches. So no, I don't think it has any impact.
Overall, I would say the Army-Michigan game was a plus on the recruiting side.
Yeah.
Not that it's gonna flip any decisions, but that would definitely have been a signal.
Now, Iowa State has a big weekend. This weekend, they host Iowa in football. College Game Day is coming to town for the first time. And they have – you guys keep going, and I'll look up those big names they have.
Oh, that are visiting?
Yes.
Oh, boy. All right, I'm looking forward to that. I'll find the next question while we do that. All right. Here's a good question. With Worlds and a lot of questions about how do we handle this time zone, this Kazakhstan, which is 10 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even looked at it.
We're in
jet
Central.
lagged from Croatia time, so
yeah.
I mean, like, the whole numbers and.
So with Worlds in Kazakhstan, we've got a lot of early morning wake-up calls to watch all the matches, trying to decide what's best for my watch party. Waffle bar, omelet bar, or mimosa bar. Ooh. Discuss.
You can combine some of those bars.
I think waffles.
You don't have to pick
I
just
love
one.
waffles. I think waffles are a death sentence.
Yeah.
That flood of carbs and sugar, you're
sleeping.
gonna be feeling good for a little bit, but you are gonna hit a wall that is that lead to unconscious. This is all about consciousness, right?
Too many mimosas, and you could find yourself unconscious as well.
Yeah.
So, which leads me to something I love and near and dear to my heart: omelets. I love omelets. Good food. It's good for you.
This is facts.
You
definitally eat omelets here.
I do. I definitely do. I definitely make them
In the office.
In the office.
Did
Not
you guys
serial killer behavior at all.
Why would make? All right. I don't understand why making an omelet at the office is serial killer behavior.
I don't know, man. It's a pretty wild move to do at the office.
Does anything like that come up in your FBI profiling of serial killers, David?
Yeah, most of them are eating omelets.
Strong correlation, I think.
Dang it. Yeah.
Well, there's always an exception to the rule, and I would like to think I'm the one person making omelets at their place of work, not killing people in a serial fashion.
We appreciate that.
Serially, no.
Also,
Not serially.
I got the guys who will be there on the visit.
He's got them.
Alex Facundo,
Nice.
Drake Ayala,
Nice.
Caleb Ratchie,
Nice.
Wyatt Henson,
Nice.
and Cadet World team member Mason Galoff.
Wyatt Henson, huh?
Henson's been getting some traction. I know the Iowa coaches did a home visit, and so did Iowa State.
Interesting. Well, his dad was really good.
Yeah. I wonder if he's involved in the recruiting process at all.
Probably somewhat.
I have a feeling.
Flo Urinal Pickle. Is the Hodge next year grossest to lose now? I'm stamping that. I'm saying yes. He is the... If Vegas were making lines right now, he is the... He might be minus.
The odds-on favorite.
Who else is in that conversation? Zahid?
Spencer.
There's a...
I'd like Zahid to be in that conversation.
Okay. Permission.
All right. Thank you.
I have
Zahid is in the Zahid has entered the chat.
There's going to be 2 Penn State guys somehow. Like, Anthony Cassar could end up beating all sorts of people.
He does kind of pin a lot of guys.
Yeah.
For a takedown guy?
And, like, never get scored on, like one of those things.
Mm-hmm. I just... Forever. I'm going to pick Gable Steveson to win every tournament he enters, probably till he retires from sport, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
I just pick him to win. So
if he can make a level jump, well, maybe Gable Stevenson's in the conversation at that point too.
I don't think Heavy's. I just don't.
Heavy's getting no respect.
I'm going back. Remember about a year ago, Nomad was like, Gable will never win he won't win the Hodge because people don't like him. So, I don't know. I don't think Gable can win the Hodge either.
If Gable does not wrestle for Minnesota this year, Anthony Cassar will be a finalist because last year he had a bonus rate of 70%.
Whoa!
And it's probably only going to get better. And if there's no Gable, then he's probably going to be
Derek White.
Yeah, he's going to be even more dominant. So
then again, there's some like freshman heat coming in. I don't think Cassioppi's probably ready to go with him. There's other good freshmen coming in, right?
Well, Mason Paris is going to have another year of growth. He gets better like month to month.
Yeah,
Dude,
he does. Yeah, he does.
He won Junior Worlds. Like,
Smashed that
killed
dude.
everybody.
Yeah.
He killed everybody.
The Iranians were like, oh, all right, got it. That's a fluke because that guy's RA is they're pretty high on him.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone's like, no, like that was not a fluke. Like look at the kid's other match. Look at Mason's. This is the Iranians telling other Iranians like, no, like.
Kirkley going this year?
No. I think it'll be Singletary again, and then some jumbling with Ohio State. I'm not sure who they're gonna go with. Okay, back to Jordan. Since Spay wants to talk about Jordan more,
I'm all in. Jordan talk.
Permission granted. Again, assuming the discussion for best American wrestler is between John Smith and Jordan Burroughs, we're not going to rehash the Bruce thing. All due respect.
Big
How
Bruce.
heavily does
Respect
Rio
mustache.
factor in? Is there anything Jordan can do that will be able to overcome that knock on his resume? So this is like the Jordan versus LeBron thing, right? Jordan was 6 for 6, no blemishes.
Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah, that is confusing. Except I said LeBron James, so pretty obvious.
LeBron.
It is obvious. I apologize.
Basketball LeBron James?
Yes, the basketball,
Gotcha.
not the.
Okay.
Also, did you see LeBron sadly lost the Taco Tuesday? He was trying to trademark that. He lost.
Man.
One of the great legal battles of our time.
As did
What is it? And then,
did Ohio State trying to trademark the.
But Pat Riley can trademark three-peat? This is nonsense.
He did?
Yeah.
Good
And-
for Pat.
And it was,
How much do we owe him for saying it on the show?
Yeah.
I will pay you nothing, Patrick.
I'll send it to
Yeah.
finance. Don't worry.
So I don't know what Jordan can. There's nothing you can do to Rio.
What do you mean, like, you could peel off 6 straight starting now?
Okay.
That's true.
Just
Right.
saying, that's a possibility.
Well, if he's gonna retire,
I mean, the thing that's hard about Rio, I mean, compared to, the era when John Smith was wrestling, like, Burroughs was so visible after that loss, and he stood there and stood in front of the camera and interviewed in tears, and I think that shook a lot of people. I think it, like, the experience shook him, and so it felt like more than just Burroughs lost these matches. It felt like we saw a man like as vulnerable as you can see a man, and I think that's a little bit hard to unsee. Although I think him standing there and taking the interview, despite what he's going through, like, shows us more about his character than anything else. I think that is hard to kind of unsee. But I also think that's what makes 17, 18, so kind of remarkable, and we'll see what he does this
coming
year.
back, it would be easy to say, like, well, I had a good run, but, American wrestlers retire. It's, we got other Americans waiting in the wings. It wasn't like he was leaving a hole in the U.S. lineup. I mean, there's Kyle Dake right there. But to me, you're comparing vastly different eras. Like,
Yes.
it feels like they're not that far away. John Smith is still coaching and in our
80s,
consciousness, but it's completely different. The Soviet Union was still intact. It was the checkmark system, so it was pool play. So John Smith did lose a match in his run, but it didn't matter.
To be fair, yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not saying like, that's a knock on John Smith, but it's like, in a different system, like, Burroughs could have dropped a match and still wrestled back for gold in all these different tournaments. And I'm not saying it's tougher or easier, the systems. I am saying that having the Soviet Union suck up all of those republics and not having guys able to defect and transfer makes the fields definitely tougher. I mean, exactly how tougher is hard to quantify, but 100% it is tougher to win now the way the country systems are set up.
So if Burroughs wins, all right, here's the blueprint. Burroughs needs to win this year. He needs to beat Kyle Dake, and he needs to win again, retire. He'll have 7. He'll have 2 Olympics. So he'll have 1 extra world title, and I think what could maybe And I'm not ready to say it's Jordan or it's not, even though I kind of actually think it would be. I think the fact that the guys he had to beat to make teams in conjunction with the guys he had to beat to win titles could tip the scales for Jordan. But you can always say 6 for 6. That is like kind of like the big joker in space.
Yeah, and that's why it's different eras, and it obviously the term is greatest of all time, but I would say they're respective goats of their eras.
Diplomatic.
Wow. Yeah, you're a very you're such a fence sitter, Spay.
I'm
Jeez.
trying to stay friends with everybody.
Yeah, I'm sure John's listening.
And the supporters of John.
Okay, whatever.
That's
Let's get Steve and Kyle will say something.
What? I'm sorry.
What do you want?
I was reading Darren Ravel getting dunked on. Sorry.
I guess we'll go.
We got a live show going on. Oh, Darren Ravel. Hell yeah.
All right.
Taste it.
All right. This question's for you, Kyle.
Okay.
Because
I'm paying attention.
even though we all love You Can Call Me Al, I don't think anyone loves it quite like you do.
Agreed.
It is on
It was
Slack.
the 2019 song of the summer.
It was.
Big
It was. 2018 was 16 Tons by Tennessee
Oh,
Ernie
yeah.
Ford.
Yeah.
So there's no telling what it's going to be next year. If that selection
Wow.
gives you any
Quite
indication.
a range.
2020 could be any number of things.
Yep.
So, who in the wrestling community would you recommend be my role model? My old one ducked out back down the alley with some roly-poly little bat-faced girl. So who's your role model in wrestling?
Ooh.
Oh man, this guy needs a new role model.
I think he needs one.
Okay.
Because the other one ducked out with some roly-poly
little
bat-faced girl.
bat-faced girl. Man, this is tough.
Who do you look up to?
Me personally,
Yeah, that's a role model.
I think you have to go with Austin DeSanto. I mean, it's kind of like coming back towards to the Michigan football. It's the Jack Harbaugh, the father of the Harbaughs, attack each day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind, and Austin DeSanto does that. You know,
It is unknown to mankind. Enthusiasm of DeSanto's level.
just the way the intensity, and the focus. It's got to be DeSanto.
Okay, I did not expect you to say that, but I actually agree.
Yeah, tough to argue.
Tough to
Made
argue.
a good point, right?
That is a good point. If the goal is intensity and focus on one thing,
And just like
it's him.
grit and blue collar toughness.
He's
He
got
lives
it.
for this.
He
He
sometimes
does.
tries
Right.
to break people's arms.
That
He does throat slash sometimes, but it's all part of the intensity
that
package.
was. I mean, you overblow this throat slash thing.
Hey, I'm not anti when Eric Montoya did it at Iowa.
Yeah.
that was an all time moment.
Didn't our friend of the show, Braxton Amos, do it at Fargo?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I think after he tagged Crosby in the finals.
I
yeah.
know there was a little throat slash there.
I think there was.
People take the throat slash out of context. It just means I'm going to cut your throat.
Yeah, they do. Why is that the murder symbol? Why don't they do? People don't do a lot of other.
There's so few throat slashings these days, just statistically.
That's true. Yeah, probably more strangling.
It
You
should
don't
be.
see a lot of
It
that.
should be. Something with it. Yeah.
It should be the astronaut pew pew pew.
Oh,
Yes.
pew pew.
He
Yes.
shot him down. Anthony
Yeah.
shot him down.
This is
Yeah.
a great conversation for serial killers to have, by the way.
Yeah, that's true.
What's the best way to mime that you're going to kill somebody, specifically a random person that you just...
Well, who would you tell him to look up to?
I don't know. There's a lot of directions.
If you want to go like, I don't know, like a real role model, like I think Yanni would be a great choice.
I can get with that. I can get with Yanni.
I don't know. You guys give some.
I don't know. Y'all chime in.
Well, I just looked up the highest ranked guy on WrestleStat, whose first name is Al, and it's Albert Urias of CSU Bakersfield. So you can call him Al.
Yeah. I think maybe you go. I think you go with maybe a guy like a Matt Cathell, because most of us, let's be honest, don't have the potential.
That's a deep cut.
This is a break call right here.
This
We
is
don't have- most
two
of us-
shows in a row with Matt Cathell.
Dude,
That's right, because we
He's-
talked about his junk.
Yeah.
he's making a comeback. Most of us don't have.
I wish he listened.
The athletic potential to follow the instructions of a guy like Yanni or a guy like
Bat out of
DeSanto.
hell, Matt Cathell.
But you got Matt Cathell, who spends probably more time than any of us eating potato chips on the couch in his pajama pants, and he's figuring out how to win high level matches. So I think he's the role model. You figure out, how does this guy pull it off? you know?
Okay.
That's
And
mine.
Mine's easy. God.
Okay.
I like the whole the Hiley clan.
Oh yeah.
They're
yeah.
chowing down on hoagies. They're
The hoagie.
Sandwich eating guy.
They
Yeah.
look like
Dog.
superheroes, and they wrestle tough.
I like
they're-
that pick. Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
funny online.
And they're funny online. They have a good time.
Ryan Price is funny online.
Ryan Price is
Yes.
great.
Yes.
That guy is a laugh a minute. Okay. I think did he say he listened to FRL at least sometimes?
Yeah, he said he listens just to hear Willie get yelled at.
It's a good reason to listen. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Probably
listen?
why a lot of people listen.
Yeah. Brock Desert took the rest of the week off to grieve that there's no Iowa City duels this year either. So that is rough.
R.I.P.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah. Hang in there, Brock. Okay. Next question. I still want to know why Spencer Lee didn't choose top in the second period of the NCAA final. We nearly pinned Jack Mueller at the end of the first. Additionally, Jack beat Rivera by riding him tough, and Spencer took bottom. Jack nearly cradled him. He did technically cradle him. He didn't turn him, but he had the cradle locked.
He had it locked, yeah.
This has been discussed, and I guarantee you, Mulder Akers asked this because he saw the Hawkeye schedule. In the little pre-roll video button was that match, because I watched it yesterday too, and I thought kind of the same thing. And it's kind of just something in college wrestling. The auto bottom is just a thing. You just take bottom. It doesn't always have to make sense. You can be unturnable, and you can be amazing on top and vulnerable underneath. It doesn't matter. And like Spencer's been vulnerable underneath in the past, right? And for sure, top is Mueller's wheelhouse. I don't know why he did it, but it didn't matter. He won 5-0, I believe.
Yeah, the auto bottom top, what you pick thing is an entire different ball of wax that could lead us into many tangents. But yeah, I think you're good. You're gonna win almost anyway. There's tactics, and then there's, it shouldn't matter on one hand.
I think of note, looking forward, Virginia is going to be at Midlands this year, and so maybe we see if he takes a different tact next time around.
Okay. Interesting.
Vic Bass should be there too.
Oh, of course.
Okay. Who are your favorite non-Americans who will be competing at Worlds to watch? Note, excluding USA transfers like Miocic and Amin. So who are your faves?
Dave Bave, right off the
I knew you were
bat.
going to say that.
Why wouldn't you say Dave Bave? His real name is David Baev. But he's the 70-kilo guy, pulling for green, obviously. But he's just fun. He's a young talent. I think he's like a junior champ or silver, something like that. And he's just part of that, Russia's endless wave of just, solid guys. And his name is fun to say.
Odaguru. Give me Odaguru.
Mm-hmm. He's really, really fun.
And Bajrang, especially when they wrestle
I
each
love
other.
Bajrang.
Yeah.
His
yeah.
pace.
Crazy pace. I'm going to go off script here. This has been a long-time favorite of mine. I'm just going to stick with him. I really like Bone Rodriguez.
Yeah.
YBR.
Yeah.
He's just, and after the wild ride he gave us last year, sign me up for round 2 of that.
He's been a remorseless slaughtering machine for nigh on a decade and a half, giving us highlight clips the entire time.
Like, no one scores when their leg is elevated in the air nearly as often as him.
Yes.
Especially the way he does. Like, just from one leg, I'm just going to, launch you for 5.
Is he the Mekhi Lewis of international wrestling? No one is more comfortable in college right now on one leg
Yes.
than Mekhi Lewis.
But that's because Mekhi Lewis peels your hands and puts his leg back on the mat. He's just like...
he doesn't do a high flyer.
He doesn't do a high flyer, yeah.
Let me separate these two real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a monster. Okay. More questions. When do first rankings come out? Brock Desert.
Brock Desert wants college rankings.
They were supposed to be out by September 18th.
Is that
Yes.
That's when we put
by
them out last
September
year.
18th?
That's when we put them out last year.
Well, I got time then, so lay off me.
I'm starving.
I'm starving.
Yeah.
These fries are good.
Is Wisconsin going to be third in your rankings?
How? When Magazine's rankings come out, Wisconsin's third.
They got
Is Bono on the panel?
Like, I get that
Gross and
the
Wick.
gross bump is going to be, significant from last year, but all the way up to third?
Yeah, I don't know. And then
if I was Wisconsin, I would not be that thrilled about that. They're not going to be a trophy team, are they?
I mean...
it's tough. Like,
They're going to be good.
this whole year is
You're
going to
probably
be
looking at a top 10 team with
Yes,
Wick and Gross,
absolutely.
but a trophy team?
I guess they have Hilger.
They have
Yeah,
Hilger,
Howard
too, and-
Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole season is going to be a pain because it's going to be guys coming in and out, or he hasn't wrestled, or we know he's coming back, or we don't know he's coming back, or who do you include, whether redshirting or not. So this fall is just going to be, I don't know. The preseason is going to come out, and then everyone's going to be like, well, you didn't include him, or why is this guy? Is he definitely out? And I'm going to be like, I don't know. But, yeah, we'll get rankings out shortly. I mean, it stinks that World Championships are occupying a lot of my mind space right now, but... the preseason is really, I don't know, it's more of a daunting task than it should be because you have last year's, and that is like well over 50% of it.
Yes.
So hopefully soon. I'm not putting a deadline yet.
You won't put a deadline.
You can impose a deadline if you'd like. You can.
September
That's kind of
18th.
your job.
I don't want to do that.
All right, Kyle. September 18th.
That's just I think we kind of made a promise to the people.
All right.
I don't want to
On
break
this
any
show,
promises to
It's
the
about
people.
the people.
Well, we made the promise for you.
Yeah, on your behalf.
All right. Well, you write the checks. I'll cash them. That's a good system.
There we go.
All right, so cash that one in. This guy, John Feister. Should I force my friend to potentially miss? Oh wait, my friend and I have been going to NCAA tourney for 6 straight years, despite falling on my wife's birthday some years. This year, his firstborn is due tourney weekend.
To Chattanooga or the suburbs of Chicago, but you're on the Strip, and then wrestling is great because no other sport gets you that close to the wrestlers. The access is incredible. Like, you're walking by, and there is all the D1 All-Americans and NCAA champions just chilling on the same floor as you go around. Your ticket gets you, you'll have great seats because it never gets too crowded. And is Binghamton coming back to CKLV?
You might see Billy Baldwin.
Billy Baldwin may be roaming the convention center. You could bump into him. He's a very nice guy. Doesn't like it when you don't put Binghamton high up on the preseason.
What are we gonna do about this?
Yeah, on the preview when you don't rate them sufficiently high enough.
That is fair, and as he should. And I appreciate Billy advocating for his Bearcats. Also, I'm pretty sure Jay Jaggers ran into.
He did.
Al Davis, or not Al Davis?
Mark Davis.
Mark Davis, the son of Al Davis. So you could run into Mark Davis. He was in that hotel for some reason.
Another big plus.
Also, I found a weekend for our guy.
All right.
What is it?
February 15th, Minnesota at Iowa. It's a Saturday. And then the next day in Ames, Iowa State wrestles UNI.
That's a pretty good one.
That you cover all 3 D1 Iowa teams.
Even though it's only one duel, that Iowa State weekend, it's going to be the weekend of Thanksgiving, which feels like there's a little added,
Kids
will be
there.
there.
It's the weekend before. Yeah.
Before?
Yeah, I hope not. Jeez.
It's the weekend before.
I'm going to that.
You're like, well, so much for Thanksgiving in the
Forget
Files
it.
house.
Forget it. It's out.
Yeah, you're coming. Yeah. All right. Okay, cool. So, John, there's going to be a lot of good options. But look into Vegas. You can get to Vegas in December cheap. You can stay there cheap.
Yeah.
You won't even have to road trip. You won't need a car or anything. You can, big public transportation. Nomad and I, one year, we stayed, I forget, Vegas was somewhere weird one time. It wasn't like it where it normally
was.
was.
At Westgate, in the main convention center.
It wasn't there one time, and we ended up taking the train. It was freezing anyways.
That little
There's
monorail guy. Mm-hmm. You took that thing. Yeah, it's fun. And you get to check out, it takes you by, like, behind the casinos, and you get to, the sites are a little different. It's fun.
Yeah. Real blast. Last question from Hawkeye Report. Bajrang is ranked number 1 in the world, and he lost to Yanni, who lost to Ryan Deacon, who lost to Caleb Young. Does this mean that Caleb Young is the best wrestler in the world? Obviously, it does.
Theory board, Kyle.
I love it.
We haven't done a theory board in
I know.
far too long.
But yeah, Caleb Young is number 1 in the world.
We gotta get Pepe Silvia on that one.
Yeah, we haven't done a good one in some time. Frankly, everything's been Been a mess since then. All right. Did Kyle Brecky do the minutes?
Oh, no, I did not.
Dang it. This show is so screwed.
Boiled.
Oh, I really messed up.
I should have reminded you again. It's okay. We only talked about like 3 different things. Well, anything I missed? Anything you guys want to discuss before we depart?
Good tip for watching Worlds. This is how I like to do it. And shouts to anybody that stayed up for Tashkent 2014. This is like the same time zone.
Yeah.
So you'll get to relive that fun
We all
experience.
know that, dude.
Yep.
Everyone knows the
Everyone's
Nursultan,
seen a
Tashkent
globe
time zone.
before. But a good thing is to stay up real, past midnight or so. The first match is going to be like in the small hours of the night. You stay up, you can do it. You can watch like the first match. Then you look at the match order and you're like, all right, there's a couple more American matches I'm going to stay up for. As soon as you go, all right, I got another maybe 10, 15 minutes for this match. Fall asleep instantly, completely ruin that plan, and then wake up like 20 minutes late for work, and then follow along while you're driving to work, like the semifinals and maybe finals.
That does actually not sound like a good plan.
No?
No.
You don't think people should enjoy that? I mean, it worked awesome in 2014.
My tradition in Wyoming was always get up early, go to the 24-hour Mexican restaurant and get a breakfast burrito. Later found out connected to the Sinaloa cartel and El Chapo, but that's
so
why
you
the
helped
burritos
break
are so cheap.
El Chapo out of prison, basically.
I did, and but get a good breakfast burrito, get some coffee going, and you're ready to rock.
Just don't sleep. There's no good way to do it.
Yeah, there's really not, because
You'll be sick by the end of
wrestling's
it.
gonna start at 1. You will be sick. You will have some sort of disease.
Yeah, you're gonna get a cold. Just
fine.
By the end of that, you're gonna be sniffling and miserable. And but hey, it's worth it.
It's worth it.
Okay, Stephen, Kyle, you got anything?
No, I'm all good. A lot of people hated Spade's mustache, so there was that.
You know
Really?
what? Hey,
Man, I can't believe how many people are wrong about that.
First of all, jealous. There's a lot of people that have been jealous about my mustache ever since I started growing it, and that's fine. I appreciate that you're upset that you cannot grow one as luxurious as this. Second of all, the whole reason this mustache is here is what our rivals, the Russians, at Worlds, what is their most common facial hair?
Beard, no mustache.
It is the Abe Lincoln, the beard with no mustache. So I think anyone without a mustache is insufficiently patriotic to support the Americans right now.
If they're gonna put on an Abe Lincoln costume, maybe we go like Lenin or Stalin costume.
Ooh, throw everybody off.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Phew. Nobody will know what's going on.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get the heck out of here. There's the music. It means it's time to go. We thank you guys so much for listening to 406 episodes of FloWrestling Radio Live. A reminder to you, a little plug, Mike Mal's Deep Dive Live at 10 a.m. That's 40 minutes. So take a nap, get all your work done for the day. You have 39 minutes to do it, and then come back and watch more great content. I think he's going to be breaking down Snyder versus Sajalayev, which that match may come up this year.
Hope so.
We hope so. Knock on wood if you're with me. Shout out John Gruden. Shout out Hard Knocks. Shout out to you for listening. We will be back next Tuesday, right before Worlds begins, right? No, Worlds will be in the middle.
Sunday is, I think, the first.
Saturday, right?
So hopefully we will have some medals to report. If not, we'll report on other things. Thanks, guys. We'll see you Tuesday.